All right, guys. Hey, I'm sitting here, as you can see, in the train, driving home from talking with people about Jesus and sharing the good news tonight. And it was exciting, actually. David, my son, and I went out together. And first, we went to on Rådhuspladsen, the main square, town square in Copenhagen. We we met these two young guys who were sitting on the tall bench, the flooding bench, if you will, of Copenhagen, where if all the ice melts off the poles and everything else, then this bench will be in the proper altitude over the water. So anyway, they were sitting there, and it was a great talk. And this one guy called Alfred, Alfred, it's great. He had literally been with my son at one of the gospel concerts, and he remembered my son from the gospel concert. And he was like, yeah, I pray sometimes, but he didn't like. He was kind of swearing a bit and everything else, but it was great. He was such a nice person. And so he was a person of peace. And you know what he gave us? He gave us this card, if you can see it. Hi, coming friend. Alfred, my name is Alfred. And he gave us a card, hi, coming friend card. And where there is his Facebook URL and his mobile phone number, and he says, I have found you to be cool because of, and then there's a line, and he borrowed a pen from me, and he literally had this card with him. I would like to get to know you better. and I want to hang out, and what does it say here, and get contact to you. I hope to hear from you, and if not, then thank you for being cool. He was legendary, this guy. And he was hanging out with another friend from Jutland. This guy is from Frederiksberg. So, I mean, he was like, yeah, I pray sometimes, and I go to gospel concerts, and so they had to move on. But he wanted to meet again. He wanted to talk more, and he was just such a cool guy. And he was literally hanging out. We were like, David and I. Oh, sorry, I just had to put on some gloves here in the cold weather. But David and I, wow, we were impressed with Alfred. And he was hanging out with this guy who was like an anarchist, he called himself, from Jutland. and he was like, to David and I, my son and I, he was like a Jesus type person, literally a person of peace. Such a cool person. We want to invite him to church. We want to invite him into our lives. So anyway, such a great time. Then the next person we met was also very open to talk about, faith and life. And he was just such a cool guy. Eunice from Birmingham in England. And we got to pray for him, and God actually, he felt heat and warmth in his body when David, my son, when he prayed for him, because he had a lot of asthma or allergies. And so David was allowed to pray for him, and he couldn't test it immediately. And he said, yeah, I live close to a hospital, so when I get back home, I can just test it and then go to the hospital and get if I'm not healed. So, but he was such a nice young man. He listened really attentively to our stories and allowed us to pray for him, and said when we were done, yeah, I think what I will do is to really take some time to find out what is true, is there a God? And I also gave him the my website, where I have recorded my story at length, the longer version of my coming to faith story. And so I hope he will listen to that. And we got his contact details over Instagram, and we're going to follow up with him. So, I mean, we literally just had those two conversations, but they were so good. And we're excited. And so I went home via train, my son via bike. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you're encouraged. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless you. And I encourage you to go out, find the people of peace. They are out there, and they need you, or God wants to use you to minister to them, to talk with them, to share with them, and give life to them. So God bless you, and see you in, if not tomorrow or before, then in the new year. And I just encourage you to be bold and go out and share the good message. Bye bye.